Hello. So this morning we are going to be talking about a particular problem whereby um, you are trying to make certain objects public read on your bucket, right? For example, this is our bucket. We are trying to make sure certain object, for example, this one is for some reason available public read. That means it can be read publicly, right? Let's say we are trying to make it available so that anyone can download it, right? Now, what we need to do is we can use public um, the ACL access control list, or we can use bucket policy. Now, what is recommended is for you to, by default, for you to block all public access, right? Remember, when you're dealing with S3, you can control permission with access control list or bucket policy, right? For example, this access control list, it allows this particular account, which is the account that we are right now, to list, to write object, to yeah, it means this particular account can actually do all these activities or all these permissions, have it on this particular account. Now, if you want to do add other accounts, right? Let's say you want other accounts outside of this one to be able to list object, do all this. You have to get the canonical ID of that account, which is this. Remember, the canonical ID can only be gotten from the S3 under the permission column. So you go to the other account and you get the canonical ID and you put it right here. Now that is when those accounts can access it. So in that case, you're trying to make a bucket accessible, let's say publicly, right? For for everyone to download. Because when you make it publicly, that means you are very sure that object can be made public and anyone can download it. It's very simple. What you need to do is by default, make sure only the only your account can have all this permission. Now, the bucket policy also, make sure you have a bucket policy that blocks all public access, right? So all public access, right? The goal of this is to secure your AWS S3 bucket, right? Now, the one way, now, if you want to make this particular object public, there's a way for you to do it, right? You can actually edit the permission, right, of a particular object, right? Um, so on that particular object itself, right? What you need to do is remember this permission column is not the bucket permission; it's the object permission. You can make that object individually accessible to the public, right? Right. So if I uncheck this, that means the public won't be able to access this particular object. If I check this, that means the public will be able to access just this particular object. Now, what is happening is that this permission defines the default ACL for every object that is created in this account. While the individual, if you click on the object itself, right? If you look at the permission of that object, it defines the access control list for that particular object, right? And you can actually set this value on the command line, right? For example, when you list AWS S3 command, right? S3 help, right? S3 copy help, right? So when you list it, there's a particular command that you can use. Let me share that. There's a particular command that you can use, which is this. If you look at this account, you can see that this allows you to actually set ACL on just object instead of the whole account. Let's say you're trying to copy certain object into an S3 bucket, and you want that specific object to be public read or to have a certain ACL that is different from the bucket ACL, the default bucket ACL. You can set that particular ACL when you specify the command. As you can see right here, when you do AWS S3 copy, right, it has that ACL flag that you can specify so that that particular object is going to have its own specific ACL. So that is how you solve that problem of, making sure the object in the bucket have a different ACL, right, than the default ACL of your bucket. So I guess that's going to be it for today. Thanks.